How do you make a narcissist incredibly frustrated? How do you win every single fight? How do you show a narcissist that it isn't even worth trying to fight with you, so they should just move along? This video will be discussing the top ways you can outsmart a narcissist and beat them at their own game. Number 1, take responsibility. You hear all the time that a narcissist always wants to have power and control in a relationship. They want the upper hand, right? They want to win. This is constant. So in an argument, when a narcissist is going to try to get control as well as being negative, mean, and putting you down, blame shifting, everything they do, you can beat them to the punch in this moment by immediately taking responsibility. Let's say the narcissist is on your case, whether justly or unjustified, about like laundry, for example. You said you were going to do laundry, you didn't get to it yet, so they round on you, right? You're lazy, you're stupid, you said you would do it, it's still sitting here, you never do anything. What are you, some kind of idiot? And they go on and on, right? They begin to berate you, everything's your fault, you're terrible. So instead of doing what most people would normally do in that instance, which is to react, maybe get a little bit angry, become defensive, hey, listen, I'll get there, I worked all day, or something like that, you can hit them with something like, yeah, you're right, I said I would, and then I got sucked into watching TV. I totally spaced out, my bad. I'll go ahead and get on that. How can they continue to go forward and go on and on and on about how terrible and awful you are when you just sit there, shrug your shoulders, and go, yep, I'm to blame. It's all me. Let me go ahead and work on that. It works well to diffuse a lot of fights. You might end up having to do this when, let's just be real here, you might not particularly be sorry and you might not particularly want to take that responsibility, but just for the scenario, for everything to kind of cool down and be over, the best way to stop the fighting and the blaming is to just kind of suck it up and go, blame me. Yep, that's fine. Yep, I did it. Because honestly, they are anyway. So in a lot of cases, again, it will diffuse it if you just agree and just keep it moving. Number 2, using empathy. Sometimes you can win a fight or stop one from going any further when you just have a little empathy for someone who's narcissistic. Again, remember, this is more so about the narcissist wants power and control, and they just want to shove something in your face. They're right, you're wrong. Bow down and allow me to have that power and control. And what we're simply doing here is just not allowing them to have it. But our natural defensive nature is what will drive a narcissist to keep pushing and keep fighting. They don't care about what your defense is. All they want to know is that you're arguing. They're controlling you. They have power over your emotions. They choose when you're sad and when you're angry. This is what they want. So really what we have to do here when we're using empathy and taking responsibility, it's just an attempt to dissolve whatever hissy fit is happening from this person as quickly as possible, attempting to calm and even maybe empathize with this person a little bit. It can sometimes achieve it. A narcissist might say something to you like, you're late picking me up from work, whether you are or you aren't. Sometimes we know these people just want to start an argument. But let's just say, once again, they're on your case. You're always late. What's wrong with you? You're so stupid. You forgot about me. And they'll just drone on and on. And we just simply can't allow it in that moment to just keep going and going. So in this case, just simply use a little empathy. I know it's frustrating sometimes that I run late. That's really it. It also ties into responsibility. You're not defending yourself. You're not giving excuses. You're not being defensive. You're not telling them maybe some things that, come on, we know might be true. They probably gave you short notice, or you're really busy with other things, and it's probably really inconvenient for you to do this thing for them in the first place. But you just simply say, yep, I did this, and I'm really sorry that it's upset you. We have to keep in mind how immature and childish these people are. And sometimes we do have to resort to going down to the level of talking to a small child and doing what we just did here, which is reflecting their feelings back at them. Just simply taking that responsibility. Again, who's right and who's wrong in these scenarios really doesn't matter. If you did something wrong, if you didn't, if they're just on your case because this is the kind of bad day they're having today, none of that really matters. You're taking responsibility, again, whether you did something or didn't, using empathy, whether they really deserve empathy or not, to outsmart them, to diffuse the fight, to keep it moving. Number 3, become unresponsive and disengage. And this is essentially the gray rock method, the gray rock technique, which teaches us how to disengage with high conflict people. And it's one of the best things to do when you find yourself fighting with someone highly narcissistic, or even when you just have to deal with someone like this on a regular basis. Like the other points in this video, it all has to do with cutting off the narcissist and not give them what they're looking for. And gray rock is just that ultimate aloofness, that very passive with no aggression way to handle things. You cut the conversation with them short. You tell them that you need to go and do something else. You simply display, without saying, that this person really isn't very important to you and you have other things that you need to go and do. You can just simply refuse to react to the behavior. Make yourself a journal, find a quiet, safe place to have some heated emotions, maybe later in private or with someone that you trust. But again, all about in the moment, not giving them that power, not giving them that response, that rise, that reaction, and taking away that power and control. Very gray rock, very aloof. If you do have to talk to them, stay on topic, stick to facts, have as little interaction as possible. You're not rude, but you're passive. You're not cold, but you're just saying the facts. You're not aggressive, but you're firm. If you'd like to talk one-on-one about what you're going through or maybe what you've gone through in a toxic relationship, you can always send an email to BookAChatWithJess@gmail.com to set up private one-on-one chat sessions with me. Number 4, get those boundaries in place. If you set clear boundaries, exercise them, and stick to them, you can make things go a lot smoother with a narcissist. You're going to decide when there's a conversation. You decide that. If there's even going to be a conversation at all. Again, as long as you're not mean, rude, or completely aggressive, you have the right to boundaries. You have the right to say no. A great way to do this is by letting a person know when they cross a line. And when dealing with a narcissist, you can also let them know that you know what they're attempting to do in this moment. You can say something like, I just want to let you know that this, whatever boundary they've violated, that this is not something I tolerate. You're very clearly trying to, let's just throw something in here. You're very clearly trying to guilt trip me, and that doesn't work for me. So when you're ready to have a real conversation and we can actually get somewhere with this, you let me know. And boom, that's it. You're done. You walk away or you stop responding to the texts or you say goodbye and hang up the telephone. You've set the tone. You've set the standard, the boundary, the consequence, and you've told them, I know what you're doing here and nice try. Now, I have to reiterate this. Once you say that, hey, I don't appreciate this behavior. I know you're trying to do A, B, C, X, Y, Z. I'm going to go ahead and exit this conversation. When you want to try again, you let me know. You do simply that. Hang up the phone. Stop texting. Go do something else. Don't continue to go around in a circle, because if you do that, the boundary, the consequence, nothing means anything. If that consequence is, I know what you're trying to do, so here's my consequence. We're stopping now. We're not going any further. Then that is when you end that conversation. If you say something like, I'll talk to you when you behave, and they don't, why are you still continuing to talk to them? The consequence here is they do not get to have access to you. Get those boundaries, call them out on their bullshit, and hold firm to those things. Number 5, stop oversharing and begin to be misleading. I know I sound like a broken record. They want power. They want control. They want to know that you are, unfortunately, just as miserable as they are, and they feed on it. So in any kind of fight or really at any time, you are going to take that away from them. It will condition them over time to start trying to initiate fights with you because they realize that you give in, you don't fight back, you're not fun, you don't play right. So they don't really want much from you anyway. But stop oversharing what's happening in your life. The good stuff they try to destroy, as I'm sure you know. The bad stuff they revel in, and the gossip goes all over everywhere. Don't allow these people to penetrate any further into your life and to what you have going on, because as I'm sure you know, all they do is dig through that information, pick and choose little things, and they hold on to that, and they will use them against you later. Do not share your emotions. Go validate those privately. But here's just a good rule of thumb. Never let anybody know what you're thinking, especially someone like this. Never show your hand of cards, not to somebody who, again, wants all this information so that they can cheat and win a game, and a game you don't even know that you're playing. This is your game. Keep your cards close to your chest. You know what you're thinking and feeling and all those emotions. Go have those privately with a counselor, with someone that you trust. You can also mislead a narcissist to get them to move in a way that you want them to go. Sometimes you have to fight fire with fire. Mislead them on how you're feeling. Don't have those reactions. I'm fine. You might be pissed. You might be really, really sad, but yep, I'm fine. All good. Yep, we're all set. You don't let them know how you're feeling, what you're doing, or what you have going on. Let's just say that you pick up a new hobby. You love tennis. Terrible example, but we're rolling with this. You love tennis, and let's say you go and you do that once a week. You go play tennis. But you know the narcissist is going to tease you for what you enjoy, make fun of you, pull some shit to try to stop you from going and doing something you really enjoy. Well, this is where you simply don't tell them that this is an activity that you enjoy. They love just simply destroying things that we love and try to make us not love them anymore. So you say you're going for coffee, you're going shopping, you're going to go visit family, whatever the case may be. There's nothing wrong with being mysterious, elusive, aloof, passive, and again, sending that overall message with words and demeanor that you just really couldn't care less about them. You're not going to fight with them. You're not really worried about them. And also another thing that you can do is to stop asking them a million questions and trying to engage with them in a meaningful way, because it further adds to the, I don't really care about what you're doing. I don't really care about how you are. It can add to gray rock and some of that aloof behavior. Number 6, be cool and calm. And I know none of these are easy, and all of the things on this list do take some practice, but in the presence of a narc, especially when it's heated and there's a fight, something's happening, you really do want to try your best to be cool, calm, and collected. These people push buttons and boundaries and everything else they can. This is what we do. The sooner that we can accept that, then we can move forward and stop being frustrated about what we can't change. They're going to call you names. They're going to tease you. They're going to make fun of you. They're going to yell at you, scream at you. You already know what this person does. And they're going to attempt to get a charge out of you for challenging them, or they're going to attempt to challenge you. We all know how inflammatory these people can be, right? They blurt out mean things, cruel things, stuff that isn't even true, but nonetheless it hurts. And of course, they do far more than that. But because they want that reaction, that rise out of you, once more, we deny them that. I've had people up in my face, I'm a bitch, I'm this, I'm that, and just to, let me know how they really, really feel about me. And I'm not going to react in that moment. I'll just stand there and be like, okay, you just, you let me know when you're done. Do you feel better? I get emails sometimes through what I do here for a living from people who say I suck and this, that, and the other. And I read them and I chuckle and I go, it really sounds like you were holding on to something there today. So I don't respond to them. Of course, I won't give them the reaction, but I think to myself with a chuckle, I really hope that made you feel better today, because it really sounds like you had something you needed to get off your chest. And I guess I was just the target. It rolls off of me because I understand where it's coming from and I don't care where it's coming from. And it's something that we need to learn. When they try to bait you, which is so transparent after some time, respond differently. If you really want to mess with someone's mind, throw them off and give them a compliment, like a legit compliment. It really throws them off. I don't know how you get, the bright's so bright and the white's so white, whatever, but wow, you're really good at that. In all seriousness, the hell with this, flip the script. You're smart, survivor. Put them on the back foot. Make them go, huh? What? What are you talking about? Show them you can crack a joke and be happy. You have the power. You have the control. Even if you are hurting inside, even if you're very angry inside, again, you're not going to not validate the way that you feel. You're just not going to validate the way that you feel in front of somebody who loves to watch you do it. You have those emotions privately, but outwardly you show them that you're happy and you're moving forward and you're not taking this personally. You're aloof, you're passive. Hey, whatever, that's cool. A lot of these things can cool and simmer a situation most of the time. Another good thing that can work is if sometimes you act like you need their help, input, or opinion. And I recommend these things if you have a boss who's like this, or you have somebody who you have to work with in some capacity. Again, these are not necessarily all things that we're going to like to do, to take responsibility, to have empathy. And it's just something to diffuse some situations and sometimes leave them a little stumped and speechless as to why they can't get those rises and reactions out of you. So sometimes you can go to a person you work with or a higher up and say, I know I'm supposed to do ABC, but I just kind of want to know what you would do. It seems like maybe you would be better at this than me. So what do you think? I got to say what it is, survivor. A little buttering up to a bully can make them be less unpleasant to you every second of the day, unfortunately. Number 7, cut the supply, no contact. In the end, you know what needs to be done. These things can work to stump a narc, to win, quote unquote, if that's what you want to do, if you want to win a fight, but if that's something that's important. But in the end, you know that walking away and leaving really is the best thing to do. Don't stay for material objects. Don't stay for money. We can get money back. Everybody can, do something to get some kind of money, material objects. You can't take them with you when you go. Don't stay for kids. You'll be doing yourself and your kids a disservice. I know. My mom stayed 16 years longer than she should have and allowed my abuse and her own to go on. It didn't need to be that way. I was no better off for having stayed 16 years with a narcissist. It did me a huge disservice. Don't stay for your kids. Go. Pick you today, survivor. Pick yourself. Make yourself a priority. And your kids, if you have kids. Whomever else, pick you. Pick you today. Make this the day that you go no contact, that you cut it, that you're done winning, quote unquote, that you're done fighting, that you're done doing all of this. Pick you. Pick today. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day, survivor, and take care of yourself.